What is up, Static Gamers? It is Kogajimente II here today. So this is the second time I'm trying to record this because in the last video I got way sidetracked. This is me talking about MCC. So this is kind of my wish list. Before I get into that, in the background you're going to be seeing some modded Halo Wars gameplay. This was the Halo Wars Overhaul mod. In my opinion, after playing it a few times, Black and Fan, your mod is way better. Just saying, you know what you're doing more than that other guy, in my opinion. I didn't like it as much, and a lot of the mods, the AI broke a lot on. They just kind of break after a while, where yours does not. But anyway, continuing onward, we're going to be talking about MCC today. It's basically kind of my wish list for MCC. So MCC is coming to PC. What a bigger wish that I could have ever had. That would probably, I mean, Halo on PC isn't my number one, but it would have been like on my top 5 all-time Halo wishes. And yeah, it's coming to PC finally, and not just anywhere but Steam. I mean, this is old news for you guys because I'm so way behind. But with that being said, with Steam, the thing about it coming out on Steam makes modding seriously easier. And that's actually one of my wish lists, but we'll get to that in just a moment. So with MCC, I know a few things that are definitely coming. The custom games browser is coming to MCC, which is nice. I think a very smart move on their part. As a matter of fact, I think that would have been my number 2. My number 1 though is actually the modding, but I wanted to mention the custom games browser, and then the Halo Reach customization is also going back to what it was. So with the modding, this is where I got carried away in the last video. They mentioned mod support, and I'm really hoping they go forth with mod support and they allow it to a level of Gary's mod, where it's Halo Custom Edition all over again with all the Halo main lines. I think this would be a smart move on their part. So with that being said, I've been brewing up an idea in my head because I might just finally learn to mod the trilogies, including Halo 4, and Reach is what the base game that I want to use. I wanted to mod the shit out of Invasion. I had this idea where basically it was the idea that I hoped Warzone would have hit but never did. And I basically wanted to turn Invasion into that. If you guys know that Gears of War Judgment mode, Overrun, if you know what that mode is, I wanted to make Invasion similar to it, except slightly different. The idea is that AIs will fight with you, and basically the short version of it is, you still spawn as you would normally in Invasion and engage players as you normally would, but basically these AIs would spawn with you depending on the level of tier you're on. So the higher the tier, and I might make more than one tier version and different things you could do, but like just for example, tier 1 would be like if it was Covenant versus UNSC, it was all start with grunts and things like that, and then tier 2, you'd start getting jackals, tier 3, things like that, and then the AI would just spawn randomly. So it was kind of the idea, and they would fight alongside you and try to help, because one of the issues I had with the original Warzone is combat would not lock constantly. So if modding came to it, that's one thing I would do. And another thing I would try to do as well is pour in things like Sentinels and Flood, so you could have Foreigner versus Flood invasion, or Covenant versus Foreigner invasion. That's a little later in the mod, I would say. I would start with something a little basic, but if it was possible, which would probably only possible if 343 gave us the tools like Halo Custom Edition has. So I guess you could say my number 1 wish is Halo MCC Custom Edition. That's like, seriously, could you imagine that? All the most modern Halos plus the old Halos available on a level of Halo Custom Edition. Halo MCC Custom Edition. Oh my god. Fuck yes. I would freaking orgy and whatnot. Which it's kinda, making me think of that thing where Halo 5 says 343 redeemed themselves. To me, no. Not even with this, no. If they did this, no. It would be on the path, but it wouldn't redeem themselves. They would redeem themselves if Halo Infinite is a success. That is when I would say they have redeemed themselves. So I don't think there's enough time to really judge that, if you guys are wondering that in the back of your head. But this is still a good thing. If 343 does the modding support on MCC, who gives a fuck whether Infinite succeeds or not? Excuse my language. Who cares? Because the modding community will keep Halo alive. Just saying, they'll find ways like SPV3, for example, to renew it over and over and over and enjoyable. And then we also got those custom Halo websites or custom games, whatever website games. Can't speak. Like El Dorado, but El Dorado was taken down. Which makes me hopeful about this is that the team of El Dorado is working with 343 on MCC. So the level of modding, oh yes, that's something they should really work towards. My next thing about it is I would really like to see the mod tools release. If anything, if mod support is added, modding tools, so that way we could port in custom models. The only reason I wouldn't see them doing that this day and age is because, unlike Custom Edition, people would port in things like Mario and things like that. Nowadays, if 343 allowed that, it might turn into illegal issues. I'm not sure how Gary Mod gets away with it. Probably because it's community created, and if 343 could somehow hit the level of Gmod for Halo, though, would be amazing. Could you imagine a Halo 4 mod where somebody reskins the Prometheans, though, to look like that concept art a while back? I think that would be cool, because we would like to see how they would kind of work in that scenario, if they would even kind of fit, if it would look Halo, really, because you would never know. And mods can give 343 ideas for future content. As a matter of fact, I think that's how they came out with Warzone, was it not? But going forward with MCC, 343, please add a reason to join a Spartan company for MCC. I know this sounds like a weird request, but Halo 5 is the only reason to do MCC with Achilles, and in MCC you could do all sorts of things. There's so many things you could probably do for unlocks, maybe emblems and things like that, especially with clans. I mean, you got clan tags in there, and this would probably be something more for Infinite, but please make it where there's a way you can join a Spartan company in-game, because it's kind of annoying that you have to go to a website that most people probably won't even reach in the first place. Because I know so many people who have a gaming console but not a PC, so I mean, it just seems weird to do it that way, in my opinion. Bungie's clans for Destiny, I think, did it way better, because I mean, in Destiny 2 you could invite people by just hovering over their name and click invite, and then they could accept it that way. And Halo, you just can't seem to do that anywhere, so that would be one of our wishes for the Spartan company, and give them a reason for MCC, because I mean, there's no point to have the Spartan companies if they're only going to be Halo 5, because when Halo 5 dies, what are they good for? Nobody's going to be playing enough to really get that, especially with MCC coming out and the big thing. So Halo Reach is being added to MCC, and I'm doped, and I agree with 343 charging for some of the DLC. Personally, I think they should charge for everything, but I think some people are complaining about it, but I mean, come on, guys. Have you guys forgot about Microsoft points paying for each DLC and shit? I mean, back in the day, yeah, okay, I get it. It was controversial when we moved into an age where everything's free, but I mean, come on, is it really that bad? I mean, we don't even know what the price is going to be on them. At least I sure as hell don't. So, I mean, can we really judge, to say? I'd say just be freaking lucky MCC's getting this content update. And they have to make money somehow from this. And honestly, pay DLC is what I'd rather them go back to than freaking loot crates. Wouldn't you? I'd rather go back to paid DLC than have loot crates. Go back an era. Oh, jeez. I'm just... yeah, but the thing with the Halo Reach customization is kind of awesome that... that isn't, you know, a thing coming in the future with MCC. It's going to be all paid DLC, or it's going to be just straight given to you, which is kind of nice. Yeah, the Halo Reach customization is going to be essentially the same, but with a new system, and I think that's because they want to test it for Halo Infinite, and I wonder if they might actually try to apply this to elites, or if they're going to leave the elites the way they were in previous iterations. I'm not sure. Anyway, 343, I'd like a request from you. This is like another thing I would like about MCC. I don't know if other people will agree with me, but there have been rumors around that there's been like unfinished maps for Halo 3 and stuff like that. They were referenced in the game code but never released. Same thing with like Reach. There was like one map that I guess we never got to play, or 2 or 3, and there was even a firefight map that we never got to play. If you have access to those, would you please finish them and release them as DLC content for MCC? It would be really nice to have a couple of refresher maps to be able to spend our time in a pool, in the player pool of maps, because I mean, as much as I like all the maps that there were from the past and stuff and whatnot, it would be kind of cool to getting to revisit those maps that we've never got to see and all that different cool stuff. I mean, for MCC, there really isn't much anything else I can really say that I truly want out of MCC coming forwards, other than maybe a little bit of content refresher. Because I mean, MCC is getting a little treatment, but there can't be so much development going on in MCC, because I don't want it to take away from Infinite, you know. Having, you know, MCC coming to the PC in the first place and taking up some time, that on its own should be is probably already taking time from Infinite. And you know, like I mentioned with the DLC maps being added in, I don't think that needs to be now. I mean, we're gonna get Reach. People are gonna be entertained with Reach for a while. I don't think, you know, they may add new maps, but I don't know. If they do something like that for practice for Infinite, to be fairly honest, MCC could be that, you know, all their dumped ideas and things like that, but I'm not really too sure on that. But it's just kind of a wish list to get like those unfinished maps, the maps we never got to see. They could at least just finish them, you know. I think that would be kind of cool if they would do at least that and allow us to play on them. Because I know there's like a few hidden maps. There's like one on Halo 3 that's referenced, but we never got to play, and there was like 3 in Reach, if I remember correctly. I don't remember where I saw it from, but I think it was General Kid or General Heed is what he generally calls himself, that found the references to it. I'm pretty sure. I think it was. I remember watching a video a while back where he talked about hidden maps we never got to play. It would be kind of cool to be able to finally see what they would have been like if 343 went through and finished them as maybe a final touch to MCC. I'm not sure. I don't know. MCC could be a wild card, you know, for the trilogy in classic Halo fans. You know, they could get something going on over there, and I really hope they do. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the whole thing, on MCC. Everything else, I just yes, and yes. I don't see what negatives can come from this. I don't think it's going to hurt console by far. People are still going to play console just as much as PC. And the PC is pretty much just going to become a mod thing. I mean, look at Halo Wars Definitive Edition versus Halo Wars Definitive Edition on console, right? The PC version is really there for modding, and the console version is more there for playing vanilla. And the modding, you know, doesn't really excel, you know, like the console version either. I mean, like I said, it all depends on how 343 implements this stuff, but I really hope they go all out with the modding and having a Halo custom edition for MCC. That would be dope. So I would like to know, guys, what your thoughts about MCC is. Are you scared because it might kill console? Because that was, I guess, one of the thoughts going around. Or are you generally hyped about this? What are you expecting about the potential mod support, or expecting in general with this MCC update? They also said they were going to kind of change the customization of Reach, but it's going to remain the same. Do you think this will also affect the elites in that manner? So we might be able to finally jumble the armor sets. Who knows? Just let me know down below. I'd love to maybe talk with you a little bit here and there about that stuff, to see if we can get a community discussion going on to kind of guess what's going on. There is a flighting program going out for MCC, so if you guys want to sign up for that, make sure you hit waypoint and basically, yeah, do that, because you might get a chance to test the Halo Reach features and some of the other features coming out for Halo MCC. I almost called it Halo Custom Edition. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. It's Koji Mente, signing out.
Lock him down. Preparing to fire. Give me an order.
All units.
Yes. Going. You got it.
Marines, get in this freaking Warthog! Hurry! Go, go, go! Move it, move it, move it! Get in the back here! Marines, get in the hog! Let's go, let's go! There we go! See, you just gotta give it a little T. Now gun those assholes down!